Okay, so we are now recording. Oh my goodness, guys. Let me tell you what. I am super duper excited. I'm going to be really honest with you guys and tell you last Monday, I messaged Stacy and I said, Stacy, I can't do tonight. And I am always up for it, but I just had some personal things going on in my life that I was just in pure shutdown mode. I was in pure shutdown mode. I had nothing to give to anybody else. I barely had enough to give to me. I wanted to lay in bed. I wanted to cry. I wanted to isolate myself. Listen, I get emotional just talking about it. I was in that place of Jesus, take the wheel. Okay. Like I was there. And, they say that your energy really speaks volumes. And holy crap, your energy really does speak volume, guys. I got to tell you, a chain reaction happened. And I noticed it and I saw it so far. Like it reached so far. And I began getting messages. You know what happens when you're in a place, in a mindset? We're going to get into a whole bunch of different stuff tonight. But I feel very importantly that I should stay open with you guys and I should tell you these things because I think it's super duper important for you to understand that we all go through hardships. We all go through times where what we envision, we dream, that changes. We all go through times where we're doing great. We're doing wonderful, guys. Excellent. Wonderful. I guarantee you, any one of you guys would trade checks with me weekly. Okay. I guarantee you would, because you know that my checks are, pretty good, right? Nobody knows exactly what they are, but they know that they're pretty good. I am sitting where a lot of you guys want to be. So how could I be sad? How could I feel ungrateful? How could I feel empty? How could this person that is supposed to have their shit together, excuse my language, how does this person have nothing to give? Yeah, Ashley, you just said it right there, because I'm human. And I had nothing. I had nothing to give. So what did I do during that time? Well, I lived in some self-pity. I watched some TV. I cried. I had some serious talks with myself. I had some serious talks with other people. I had some serious reflection of my daughters, of my life, of my choices. And I don't know about you guys, but when I start thinking and I go into tangents and I am all over the place and I'm like, God, what is wrong? Why can I not get myself back on track? And, when it rains, it pours. So of course, my energy was literally spilling out to everybody else. And then it was just like I was seeing more and more all these people that normally lift me up and they have all this energy and all this, and then I was seeing them down. I was seeing them beat themselves up, and it was like this chain reaction. I was like, whoa, wait a second. I wanted to lift them back up again, and I was like, whoa, this isn't right. Like, I am seriously rubbing off on all of these people, and you guys, we do this all the time, and there's times, I'm going to tell you, this year, like this time of the year, it is tough. There is a reason why this time of the year, guys. I want you to think for just 1 second, and I want you, before we go out, we visualize the things that we want. I want you to sit there and visualize the things that you have right in front of you, okay? I want you to visualize the fact that you're breathing. I want you to visualize your kids playing. I want you to visualize, being able to cook dinner for yourself or put on a pair of socks or those things that we all each take for granted every day, being able to breathe, being able to eat, being able to stay warm, being able to have transportation, whether you have a car or you don't, you can, there's alternate ways. But the reality of it is that there is somebody out there, guys, like my husband and I, and God, I don't even like to talk about these things. I don't like to talk about them. And without getting into too many details, but my husband and I, we have this tradition with our girls every year. And we like to go to the mall and we like to shop for others. Okay. So when I was down and I was at this really low point, that's what we did. We went to the mall and we shopped for others. And you guys, when I saw that little tree and I saw all those little names on there, and all I could think of, God, I just want to pick up this whole tree and I want to go shop for all these children because their moms and dads, I know most of them are trying, they might be in this place where they had, a rough patch and they had to go and they had to ask for help, or maybe they didn't ask for help and they missed the deadlines, because I've seen lots of those posts too. And I think of all these things and all of a sudden, not to bury my own problems or your problems or anybody else's, but all of a sudden, my problem started to seem a little bit less. My pity party started to get a little bit smaller. And I realized, I got a lot of snot going out my face right now. I realized that I am freaking lucky and I have a ton. If this girl from West Virginia, who lives in a town that is very poor, that there's very few jobs. I mean, I could go and get a job as a nurse because I have, I went to school for it. But the reality of it is that, like, my husband, if he went to go get a job right now, he'd probably have to pick up a minimum wage job. And I'm blessed. Like, we get to take our kids to and from school every day. And there's a reason for me telling you this. We get to take our kids to and from school every day. We get to go to the Christmas programs that are in the middle of the daytime. We get to take time if one of our family members pass away. Like you guys know, we lost 2 family members. My husband's grandparents both passed in October. It's not been an easy season, let me tell you. Donnie just had another one of his cousins actually committed suicide this past weekend. And it's just like, there's always going to be something going on, guys. And most of the time, our lives don't allow us to stop and spend the time with the people that we want to be with and all of that. So in this mix of all these days and all of this time that I was having my pity party, that I was realizing I didn't have this, and I'm telling you this because I've gotten messages of people being discouraged and all of this. I want you to realize that there are so many people out there right now that they want this opportunity. They want this opportunity. They want to make extra money, okay? I don't know many people that don't. But they're scared because they are getting their water. Last week, guys, my water got shut off. My water got shut off. Hello, you're 200K here speaking. I thought I paid my bill. I must not have hit submit, and my water got shut off. And I had to go down to the dollar store and get gallons of water so that we could flush the toilet because they couldn't turn it on till the next day. That has happened to many other people, I am sure. It's happened to me many times because I'm that disorganized. But I'm telling you this because people have electric bills, water bills, gas bills. They don't have food. I mean, I just got a call this evening from my daughter's school. They're collecting backpacks to send home with the kids on Friday so that they'll have snacks and non-perishables and things like that. And I want you guys to realize that when you're not signing somebody as a customer right now, that it's not necessarily what you're not doing. It's that they just don't have it. Okay? They just don't have it. But they're not going to tell you that. They're going to ignore you. They're going to tell you no. They're going to tell you all of these things because they don't have it. Do some have it? Yes, some do, but more don't. Most don't, okay? Does that mean you just stop trying? No, it doesn't mean that at all. Does that mean you stop trying to work the opportunity right now? No, because guess what, guys? We have people going VIP 800, VIP 1600. We have people that are coming in and flying. I just saw a girl go 12K in literally a day. Of course, she had a network. So, that's like not somebody that's never done this before. This is somebody that has a following, somebody that is understanding of network marketing, somebody that has created a culture around her. And I don't even know her, but I can tell you these are the qualities of somebody that's going to come in and hit the ground running. They're not afraid of no. They're not afraid of putting themselves out there. They're excited. Their energy is up. That is what magnetizes people to you. So right now, yes, the seasons are at a time where you get a choice. And in the middle of all this stuff, and what inspired me for this Zoom tonight was I was doing my on this day post. I was looking at my on this day post from a couple years ago, and I posted it on my team page, and I'm going to pull it up right now because I made this post December 15th, 2014. I was a year and a half into network marketing. I had retired myself from full time at this point. So I was doing well. Okay. I was doing well, but I was also something I noticed on this day is that I was always posting something inspirational, something about my business, something about the opportunity, something about something that's changed, some kind of vision I was casting. And you guys, the thing is that when somebody says, how do you get promoters? It is casting the vision, guys, and telling the story, okay? Because the stories are what are going to grow your business as customers and as promoters, all right? So when I was looking back on this day, it said tonight was a fantastics. One of my fantastics leaders challenged our entire team to create a dream board. And I got to tell you guys, I've had mentors over the years, some good, some terrible, some just, some wonderful ones that really pushed me to step out of my comfort zone and put myself out there and challenge me. And there's going to be times that you hear leaders over and over and over again, and it sounds like they're all speaking the same thing, but I want you guys to understand that they're telling you the things that they've learned, that they've come across, the challenges they've faced. I have faced people quitting my business. I have faced people saying mean things to me. I have faced me making wrong decisions. I have faced me being in the wrong or making a judgment call on something and hurting other people's feelings. I have faced success. I have faced failure. I have faced going back to work. I've done all of those things, but I've also faced a lot of challenges where I could have got knocked down and then back up. I was telling a story to a girl the other day of my very first year in network marketing. It was Christmas time, and they came out with this Christmas cash bonus that you could earn $500 for Christmas, and you had to complete it the first before the 15th of December, and then it was paid out. And I was like, God, this is going to be my Christmas. This is going to be my kids' Christmas. This was Layla and Leah. I was like, this is going to be perfect because, we were really running tight on money. And it was just going to be something that we weren't going to have to skip other bills, and it was going to help cover it, right? And literally, I finished it. I did it. And right before it got paid out, somebody returned something. And I was crushed. And I didn't know that they returned anything. So when we got paid, it wasn't there. The Christmas cash wasn't there. And I remember crying. And I remember feeling so defeated because I had worked so damn hard. And there was a return. And Christmas was right around the corner. I didn't have time to make up for that. And I felt so defeated. And I think about that moment in time, And it could have been a moment in time where I just threw in the towel, because leading up to that, there were computer glitches and issues, and we got a new computer upgrade system that fall. There was shortages in product and back orders and people quitting and complaining and whining and crying and not showing up, and all of these things, people saying that they wanted this, but then they never got on any Zooms. And when they did get on Zooms, they never applied anything that they did. Calls, actually, they didn't have Zooms back then. It was all calls. But my point is that people said they needed stuff and they wanted stuff, but they just didn't show up. And you can't change that, guys. You can't change that. But my whole point of the matter is that I could have allowed that point in time to stop me, right? I could have allowed it to stop me. But instead, on this day, not on this day, on December 15th, 2014 at 12:56 a.m., I made this dream board, and it was on the dream board was to retire my husband. 4 years later, I can tell you that is complete. Save for my kids' futures, I most certainly have. I've invested so many different things for them. It's been incredible. Update my house. Last year, I ripped up the floors and I put new flooring down. And we got the kids got all new bedroom suits, and we got new appliances. Build a new deck. I did that this past spring. A lot of you guys have seen that. Teach others how to make their own time. And it's funny because this picture is on a beach, and my old company didn't have getaways. And I think about the trips and the people that I've met and time that I've spent on the beach and at these retreats and with people I care about and love, and they're doing it on their own and they're making it happen, right? So I've done that. Give back. I've given back, honestly, probably 3/4 of what I've earned, because I never, ever, ever, ever will take for granted pay off debt. I've paid off all my credit card debt. Anytime I use a credit card, I pay it off right away. My student loans, I've paid off almost $30,000 in student loans between 2017 and 2018. That's a huge accomplishment. And my goal for 2019 is to pay off another 30,000 of it. So that was accomplished. And then the last thing is make lots of diamonds, which I can tell you the auto bonus is actually more so. And we have a crap ton of people that have earned that on this team. And under Jamie, and we have some different leaders from everywhere. So the reality of it is, guys, is that I've accomplished each thing on this dream board, and I've made other dream boards. I have one upstairs in my room, and I need to cast it. I should have brought it downstairs, but I wasn't thinking because I had to come down here real quick. My husband wasn't home. But the thing is that I need to make a new 2019 dream. And I've asked Tracy to hop on tonight because Tracy has many different things that she's taught, that she's shared, a lot of different stuff that all of us can learn from her about casting that vision for yourself, some different exercises that you can do. I will 100% tell you guys, 100% tell you that you 100% have to take care of you, okay? But you can't allow you to become your own excuse, all right? Like, you just cannot. And I will 100% tell you, you guys have to know where you're going, where you want to go. Okay. Where's your end zone? You need to know where that is. It's going to evolve. Okay. But you need to at least have an idea of where you want to get to. And you have to have a roadmap on how you get there. But you have to realize that you're not going to get from A to Z without going through B and C and D and E and F. And it can get hard as hell. Like, there's going to be times, guys, where you are just Your mind is blowing and people are pissing you off to no end and you are just hateful and you need to shut down for a minute, or you're just exhausted, or you're feeling empty, or you get your feelings hurt, or you're going through a rough time or whatever, and you've got to work through those things. For me, it's personal development. For me, it's reading, evolving, figuring out where I need to grow, what I want to accomplish. I'm right there right now. To be honest with you, I thought I had it all mapped out, and I don't. I have a lot of shit in my head, excuse my language, but I have a lot of stuff in my head that I want to do, that I want to accomplish. Like, I mean, I'm just going to put it out there, right? I am going to hit the Millionaires Club, all right? In fact, I'm going to hit it very damn soon. And it's not going to be when I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be before the end of 2008. I wanted it to be before my 2-year anniversary. Like, I wanted these things, guys, and I'm probably going to come up a little short, and I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that because I'm still going to get there, right? I mean, what the hell? Why would I complain about that? I mean, I'm not on target to hit right on the dot, and that's okay. I have to say, you know what? I'm still going to do this. I'm sorry, but making over $1 million in 2 years is pretty damn incredible. Pretty incredible, right? And it's like, but I'm going to tell you this, guys. I'm going to tell you this. I'll never take for granted that that will be there tomorrow. There's something that one of my mentors, and I can't really stand her, but one of my mentors, you know, even your bad mentors can have good things that you learn from, okay? And one of my mentors, who absolutely actually was my cousin, who I signed up with, who then betrayed me. But anyways, she said, you need to live like the money's not going to be there tomorrow. And you need to remember to invest. Like, you need to save. You need to invest. You need to learn how to live a life that is comfortable, and I didn't understand this back then, live a life that is comfortable but rewarding at the same time. And I didn't understand that back then, but then whenever everything crashed after my dad died and I went into a very bad, deep depression, I went back to work. And in that time period, I felt like my world crumbled and I lost a lot of income. I didn't know how I was going to come up for air, and I didn't save anything. I didn't have anything saved, nothing. And I have to tell you guys, I work my business, probably not over the past 2 weeks, in the mindset of where I need to be, but I work my business for long term of, if something happened tomorrow, I could turn around and I could go and make I could make this somewhere else, right? Because I learned the skills to guide me in that direction. So anyways, I'm telling you these things because I'm saying everything that everybody experiences as they're growing, we all have to have a story, okay? Whether your story is strong testament of the products or your story is a strong testament of what the business has done for you. Maybe it's the friendships that you're here for. Maybe it's that you're addicted to learning, like I'm addicted to learning, right? But you have to decide that you're going to keep on going. Even if your entire team quit, you have to decide that you're going to keep on going, even when nobody's answering your messages. I'm in a whole bunch of different groups, and one of the groups I'm in, it's by really pretty high up network marketers, and they're teaching all this stuff. And you guys, I see them talking about reaching out to 200, 300, 400 people a day. And I'm like, whoa, like they're making me look like, what am I doing? I don't even know 300-400 people. I mean, I could, but like, really? Like, who are you talking to? Like, where are you getting these lists from? And I started really thinking about that, is that so many of us do things so different, and none of us are wrong as long as we keep on doing it. as long as we're adding the network, as long as we're making those connections, as long as we are constantly challenging ourselves and plugging in. And I can promise you right now, if you don't get on calls, you don't get on Zooms, you don't plug in, you don't meet people, you don't care about people, you don't help your customers, you're not going to be successful. If you're not willing to change what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, you're not going to be successful in this industry. You could be successful at whatever you want in life. But I'm saying, like, it's going to take a learning curve. It's going to take falling backwards. It's going to take detours. It's going to take having to learn not what you're being taught. Did you catch that? Meaning that I'm not going to be able to teach you everything. Nobody is going to be able to teach you everything. One of the biggest things I can contribute my success over the years is that I've always been the type of person that has adapted quickly to whatever it is that's going on. And I highly suggest, if you're somebody that struggles with transforming your thinking, like, you're very set in your ways type of person, maybe get a personal development book of adaptation of some kind, for the simple fact that you have to adapt in this world that we live in to the things that are going to come up. A hurricane's coming, or whatever, right? Or there's people that break out from this, or there's a big old hold up or back order or whatever. Something could go wrong any day, right? And you either throw up your hands and you quit, you walk away. See, there's people that do this. I want you to think about that. I'm so sorry, Tracy Lynn. I am just like, I can't shut up right now. But I want you to think about this. So there's this warehouse, right? There's a warehouse, and there's all the employees that work at the warehouse. And then there is janitorial staff, right, that comes in, they clean up or whatever. There's people that work the production lines to package up and ship. There's people that put the stuff in the boxes. There's people that put the product together, whatever. I'm thinking of, like, I don't know, Roseanne in the old days, like where they were like in that, what was it, like I don't know, a plastics company, right? They had to pull those little pieces of plastic apart to put together for, like, the doll houses and things like that. I think that's what they did. I don't know if my memory reminds, but anyways, what my point is that then there's a manager. There's probably somebody that's in charge of scheduling and human resources. There's somebody that's in charge of payroll. There's a president of the company. There's a CEO. There's something for everybody, right? So shit hits the fan, okay? And there's this big old backup of orders. Nothing's going out. There's phone lines going off the hook. Who do you think's worrying about it? Who do you think's really worried about it? The people that get the couple days off because the company had to shut down. And, yes, they've of course, they're out money. They're not getting paid or whatever. But who do you think's really shitting themselves right now? Okay? I want you to really think about that. I mean, sure, the people that are working, like the people that are doing the plastics and the janitor and stuff like that, they're very like, okay, I got a day off, whatever. But they're not the ones trying to figure out all the ins and outs of how to keep things going, how to get everything back on track, how to get everybody calm, how to do all of this stuff, right? You have to be that person, guys. This is your business. You get a choice if you get to sit there and pull the plastic apart. Okay. You get a choice if you're just going to kind of come in and check your stuff or whatever, or if you're going to be the CEO of your life. All right. That's basically what I'm getting at here. You get the choice of whether you're going to be the CEO that says, okay, well, this shit happened. I can't control it. This is what I'm going to do. And this is where I want this to end up. This is where I want the end zone to be. So with that said, Tracy Lynn, are you ready to start talking now? Because I'm going to go off camera for a second. My point is, guys, is that I see so much potential, and I know. And let me tell you this. And then Tracy Lynn, you can start talking. Back in 2014, when I said, like, I was making that vision board, I had these dreams. 2015 was the best year in my business. That following year was the best year in that business, not here, okay, but in that company. I earned $100,000 bonus a couple months later, okay, in that company. I literally, I had team that earned over $500,000 in bonuses in the next 3 months, actually. So it was like, it wasn't just me. It was like a whole bunch of people. I was a top 150 money earner in the entire company that entire next year. I had my highest check in that company that next year because I was focused on where I wanted to go, where I wanted to take my team. And I want you guys to realize that right now is a temporary period of time where you get a choice if you're going to keep on moving, if you're going to plant, if you're going to learn a new skill, if you're going to stay consistent, if you're going to dream, if you're going to kick the excuses. And yes, life is busy, crazy. People are in their own funks, all this stuff. But you have to make the decision that it's okay to give up certain things in your life. Like me, I took on way too much this month. And then whenever life hit me in a hard way, I said, I got to take care of me first. I got to take care of me first. And that is how I healed myself, right? That's how I healed myself. That's how I got myself to here, which I'm fired up. I don't know if anybody's picked up on my energy over the past, like, probably 2-3 days, but it was like this shift of thinking and this shift of, wow, I know 2019 is going to be one of the biggest and best years yet, because of the people that I have locked arms with. And the people that I know have what I lack, right? That's who you want to surround yourself, are people that have what you lack and that what you want to be. With that said, align yourself with those people, guys, and you keep on allowing yourself to take in their energy, to take in what they have to give. And I promise you that you will change. You start eliminating. I started unfollowing so many people this past week, guys. And I got to tell you, my heart feels so much like it doesn't feel as heavy anymore. Because, man, it was breaking my heart. And I got to tell you, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you've just got toxic people in your life and you've just got to cut them out. And it makes such a difference because, Tracy Lynn, I got to tell you, there is something there that I have just been like drawn to you of, man, like just the thinking and the different avenues of ways of seeing things. And so that's why I asked Tracy if she wanted to hop on tonight and we could collab on this and she could share. And I've already taken up 34 minutes of jabbing my jaws. And you guys, it's good though when I ramble, because when I ramble, you know that like my fire is like whoosh, about ready to like blow up, right? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for all. But Tracy Lynn, I want you to go ahead and take this off. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to even hide the camera so I can blow my nose and blow all the snot out. So Tracy Lynn, you want to go ahead and share what you had on the agenda tonight, my dear?
Hey, sweetie. How's it going? I don't think you need to mute yourself at all. You're the fearless leader here.
At least while I blow my nose.
Well, they've seen it all, I'm sure. So, hello, everyone. So I don't know how many of you have seen me. I've done a couple of Zooms on a couple different teams. And I think you should all be part of Chas's team, eh? So we're actually going to do mindset calls once a month for the next 3 months. And the first one is going to be announced tomorrow. So pay attention for that. For those of you that don't know, hi, Ashley, and Tisha. For those of you that don't know me really quickly, I'm a naturopathic doctor. I know some of the Lavelle promoters very, very well. And I've been working with them for about 3-4 months on mindset coaching. And I kind of call it integration coaching. So we're trying to help people get their body, their mind, spirit, and their business all aligned. So it's really awesome work and I'm loving it. And I love my Lavelle people. And I love the products and I love what the company stands for. So I'm super excited for all of these opportunities. So when Amanda was talking this morning about vision boards and that sort of thing, and Jamie and I were talking this morning at over coffee about doing goal setting workshop, and so we were on the same page. So what I want to do tonight, and I can, if anybody has questions, type them on the side, or if you want to have if you have I can always unmute you, or Amanda can. But I want to go through really quickly, like an abridged version of what I would call a goal setting workshop that I've done on Zoom before. So if you don't have a pen and paper, I encourage you to go get one, because I'm going to run you through a little exercise really quickly in a few minutes. There's a couple of things that I want everybody to understand about what Amanda was talking about, and that's really like setting your sights on a goal. There's a million ways to do that. Vision boards work really well for some people, so I encourage you to try it. There's a few different ways, and we can talk about some of the other ways if vision boarding isn't your thing. But it is absolutely critical, guys, that you have a trajectory, that you have in place that you're aiming for. And the more detail that it is, the realer that you can feel it, the more that it inspires you to get up in the morning, the better. And the reason that you have to have that, I can explain both through the science and through sort of the mystic of it. So, but the truth is that if your brain does not have something to focus on, then its machinery can't go to work to make that happen. Have you guys ever played the experiment or had it, an occurrence where you wanted a car, or you just had a specific kind of car, so like, say a Jeep or something like that. And then all of a sudden, that's all you see on the road. You see it over and over and over again. So everybody know what I'm talking about, or something like that? Like, yeah, right. I see some nods. So there's two different ways to explain this phenomenon, right? And I think they're both valid and they're both going on. One of them is that I spent a lot of my spare time in the last 10 years sort of studying things like quantum physics, because, and I've said this on the call a couple of weeks ago with Chas, the more I study quantum physics, the more I believe in God. So I will use the terms interchangeably. When we start to make requests out into what they call the field, right? So I am throwing what I want out into the universe, or I am asking, for guidance from whatever source I believe in, then we know that that vibration starts to go out, and every vibration will respond to us. So this is physics. It is absolutely proven. It was actually started 100 years ago, and most of our modern science hasn't caught up. It can be a very mystical experience, and I do believe that there is a higher power that is sort of, working in behind the scenes. But if you don't believe in that, that's okay too. What we know that happens is that there's this tiny part in your brain right in the middle called the reticular activating system. And when you tell your brain to start looking for something, it is going to go to work, and it's actually going to filter out the things that aren't in alignment with that thing. And that's why the vision board is so important, or having some sort of vision is so important, because you actually can't see what's there until you tell your brain you are looking for it. Those Jeeps, or that whatever car it was, your green, Volkswagen Bug or whatever it was always there. You just didn't see it. You didn't notice it. So having a vision is absolutely critical to you being able to move in that direction. So that's the first key. The second key, and I think Amanda touched on this a little bit, and this is really, really important, is that you have to drop the how. When we get caught up in how badly we want something, we start to think about ourselves more than others. We start to think about, how is this going to happen? So if I set the goal that I want to hit, 12K, and then I say, I'm going to do this by signing 4 promoters and, this many customers, and I have to do it by this date, or I'm going to hit the Millionaires Club on this date or before my second year. What happens is that we constrain our brain and the universe's ability to provide us with what we're looking for. So does that make sense? When it's good to have goals, and we like to have things that are specific and measurable, but if we make them too specific, then we actually limit the way that it can bring, whatever it is that you believe in is going to bring this to us. There are a million different ways to hit your goal. And often in my experience, and I'm sure you've had lots of experiences as well, the way that the universe brings these things to us is far more beautiful and amazing than we could ever imagine. And it all happens in the right time and place. So we want to have that crafted vision. And then we also want to be able to detach ourselves from how it gets there, and have faith that if we continue to move in the direction of our dreams, they will happen. And there's so many really cool books and courses and other things on this that I'm definitely happy to provide in the bottom for those of you who still are looking for some Christmas gift ideas. So we can go over that too. But those two things are really, really important. I think that what I like to do at the beginning when I'm starting to goal set, and I do this a couple times a year, it just happens to be January, but I don't think you need to start in January, is I like to go through 12 areas, and I like to, at the very beginning, just go through them very, very quickly, and I get my first insult. So we're going to do the first 4 right now. If everybody's is game, it takes a minute for each area, okay? So I'm going to put a timer on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the area, and then what I want you to do is I want you to put your pen to the paper, your pencil to the paper, and I want you to write solid for the whole minute, everything that comes to your mind about what you want your life to look like in that area. You can pick, at the end of next year. I often sometimes tell people to go 2 or 3 years out. The reason is we really tend to overestimate what we can do in 1 year and underestimate what we can do in 2 or 3. So, but whatever works for you. And then the only other rule is that there's no limitations. So if something comes into your mind, there's a reason. If you are given a desire or a wish or a goal, you are given it because you can achieve it. You have what is necessary to achieve it. So I don't care if it's about money or, gender or where you are in life or what your situation is. If it's there and it's a desire of yours, I want you to write it down. Absolutely 0 limitations are allowed to come into your brain. That's why we use the timer, because I don't want you to overthink it. So you guys ready? Okay. So I'm going to set the timer. The first one that I want you to write down, where do I want to be a year, 2, 3 years from now, whatever you've chosen, is your physical health. So your health and your fitness, okay? So go. You've got 60 seconds. This can be a specific goal, like a weight loss goal. It could be, fitness. It could be, I want to feel free in my body. You might have a goal like I want to run a marathon or, something crazy like that for your runners. Almost done. Okay, so that was a minute. You can go back to it later, but I just want, those initial first impressions, what's really, really important. So before we move on, one of the things I want you to go and look at your list really quick. Does anybody want to share like what they wrote, or you can type it in the side? Oftentimes when we're setting goals, we set really specific goals. Oh, does somebody want to share?
I'll share.
Go for it.
This is making me a little nervous, but I feel like I just have to. So for my physical, I want to be in the best shape that I've been in. This is something I've struggled with my entire life, I feel like. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to just look and feel my best, because I feel like it could just help so much. It could help me so much in other areas of my life. And I want to start working out, because I've been saying that for about my whole entire life and I haven't started, and I need to. So I just wanted to share.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you for sharing.
I'll share mine too, because I need to say them out loud.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. Like, don't start talking again. I gotta say. I have to say it out loud because I have a lot of, for me, for my health, it's something that I've struggled with a lot, and I had a huge weight gain over the past year and a half. And anyways, over the next year, I want to create healthier eating habits, because I know that mine suck. I could blame it on a lot of things, but my eating habits suck, along with the choices of what I choose to eat. most of the time, suck. So that's one thing. And I can control that, right? I can control that, but I have to stay forefront. So I need to get a plan for that. And I'm working on that, but, I have a specific number that I would like to lose. And I know it sounds crazy, ridiculously high for a year's time. But I'm going to put it out there because it is a goal and I want to do it, and I have to sacrifice and put it out there. I want to lose 100 pounds. And I want to start exercising, at minimum 3 times a week. And that is my commitment, going in. So creating healthier eating habits and exercising 3 times minimum a week, will help me achieve my weight loss goal. So, okay, that's all. I just had to say that.
Love it. Thank you. I do think it's important to to have someone that you're sharing, your goals with, a safe person. I was going to go on to the next one, but actually let's take this, because I can give you guys the list. I'll just post it on the group page, but let's take health, because it's something that I think people are really passionate about a lot. Most people have something in their health they want to change, but often, and I'm looking on the side, some really awesome goals like, I want to be more confident, lose a certain amount of weight, tone certain areas, change eating habits, all that. And that's awesome. What we need to do when we're setting goals is we need to be aware that there are 2 different types of goals, right? So we have what we were going to call means goals. Means goals are things like, I want to get a college degree. I want to lose, 40 pounds. I want to have, a more toned body. I want to change my eating habits. Those are all means goals. And the reason I say that is that they are a means to an end. And so we have means goals, and then we have end goals. And we need to have both of these things down. Now, often when we're going through these lists and we have the timer on, we're getting it out, vomiting onto the paper, then it's a lot of means goals. But I encourage you always, when you're going back and you're looking at your goals and what you're really going to put on that vision board, which we'll talk about what goes up there in a second, or at least my version, is to keep asking yourself, so that what? And I've talked about this on a different call once before as well. So if you want to lose a certain number of pounds, let's say whatever it is, I want to lose 30 pounds, let's say, you need to ask, so that what? And then keep going. Whatever comes up with, keep asking until you get to the core reason of why that's really important to you. And that's the thing that you need to be very, very aware of. So it's really important that we distinguish between our means goals and our end goals. And honestly, the biggest end goal, guys, is that we all want to be happy. But if you just put happiness on your vision board, I can promise you the universe is going to deliver you something pretty, happiness can be a lot of things. You need to know what happiness is to you, because what it is to you is not the same thing that it is to me. So we really need to craft vision around that. So always dig deeper until you get to the place where you're like, yes, that is the fucking thing that I need to write down. Sorry, I just swore. I went through, that's okay. I feel like Amanda's I can swear on a little bit. Sorry if I offended anyone. I didn't swear on Chasta's call the other day at all, but I feel like she wouldn't handle it as well. So
I'm a terrible influence.
No, it's okay. No, I am legit, ask Jamie. I swear all the time. I'm you're trying to speak to your audience, but anyway, it's true. It's really important that you get down to that nitty gritty of what that goal really means to you. Dig deeper. Swear away. See? Okay, we're good. I have permission. You guys are screwed now. So that's the first part. The second part of when you're getting into this goal setting is to see if you can, sometimes you have to close your eyes or, some watch videos for some people if you're not really good at visualizing, is you need to be able to conjure up what it feels like in your body to feel that level of fitness, that level of confidence, right? That is the absolute key. And it's one of the reasons why vision boards work so well, is because when you see it, you can connect the emotion to it. This is critical because this is what starts to rewire our brains, guys. Like because anything that you want to do, you got to act, you got to change a habit, right? If you're not motivated to do that, if you're not rewiring your brain to start, new neural pathways, you're going to keep going back to the same habits, and the same habits that you've had or day in, day out are the reason that your life is where it is right now. Some of those habits will be awesome and parts of your life are going to be amazing. And some of those habits are going to be not so much, right? So it's really, really important that once you get that list down in that area, that you've then really got into what the emotion is that you want to feel. And then we want to create the vision board. And we want to create the vision board in that feeling that we want to have for our goals. Because the key to manifesting whatever you want in your life is acting as if you have it now. So you need to walk every day with these triggers on your vision board and on your phone and whatever it is that you need to remind yourself. I have sticky notes all over my house because I need to constantly be stepping into the version of myself that I want to become. And I need to act as if I'm already there. Because guys, you're already there. You are. In the field of infinite potential and possibility, you're already there. You just have to start stepping into it every day and really feeling it. And if you do that on a regular basis, like you can't stop it, guys. Whatever it is that you want, whatever it is, gifts that you've been given, whatever vision that you've been given that you want of your life, you can have it. This is what it takes. So I want to wait. I've got actually like a little thing that I'll post after Amanda, like that kind of breaks it down. A little all over the place, but, do you want to talk at all, Amanda, about how you've made vision boards in the past?
Yeah. So here are a couple things, and I'll tell you guys, I just for the sake of, the Zoom, because I'm one of those people that, if I say, okay, like I feel very strongly that these are the things that need to be talked about and what I want to help everybody else with, because my visions aren't going to be your visions and your visions aren't going to be my visions. So I went to good old Pinterest and I just typed in vision board. Okay. And the reason why I did this is because I think sometimes we don't think about stuff. So then we forget that we even want it, right? We don't, it's kind of like, oh, I wish I've got this story that I want to tell you and it's like at the tip of my tongue, but I can't like bring it out of my brain right now. But I remember the other day I was sitting there and I was like, oh, it was about phone numbers. That's what it was. Okay. So I asked the question on Facebook the other day because I was sitting there and just randomly thought about it. I was like, Layla, how many phone numbers do you know? And she was like, yours, Gammy's, and she said like one other one or something. And I was like, ooh, we need to change that. You don't know your dad's phone number? Like nobody knows phone numbers anymore, right? So I thought it'd be interesting to ask Facebook how many phone numbers. Most people came up and said they knew like 3. But I was like, do you really know 3? Think about it. Do you remember your old phone number? You probably do. Do you remember your best friend's phone number? When you sit there and you grab your phone and you go to dial it, chances are that memory is going to come back to you, right? I'm not saying like it's going to, but I'm saying if you sat there and you thought about it, and then what happens when you think of that memory, then you start thinking of the people that you're attaching to that memory, right? And you're starting to think about memories that you had with those people. Same thing when it comes to the vision board. There are things that you dreamed of that you wanted when you were a kid that you don't even remember that you wanted. And when you remember them, you're like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, yes, like I want that, and it can be anything, guys. So like for me personally, my last vision board that I shared with you was, the building the porch, and that was still on my vision board, helping people go hitting the highest rank, hitting 12K, things like that. Those were things, like all obtainable things. But I also had things on my vision board that were specific. Okay. Like last year I had family vacation, a cruise, and we accomplished those things, right? But until you actually put those things down and you say, you know what, I want to do this, you will never divulge a plan to achieve those things if you do not say, I want to do this. Okay, whether it's a vision board or whether it's something else, if you don't have a plan, you're never going to make the calls. You're never going to get online and search to find the best deals to actually get you to where you want to go. Just like Jamie and Sarah, you know, being in Disney this week, that was a dream board item. They both got to check it off and get to go with their friends, but it took planning. It took money. It took the time to get there. It took, you know, getting on the plane and going and checking in the hotel and packing your whole family up, you know, for 8 days. It took those things that led up to it to happen in order for you to get there. So the same thing goes with a vision board. So maybe you want to say, oh, I want to achieve this, but you have to put some achievable, obtainable goals, and some bigger goals. So you want to have a nice variety, right? Because what happens is when you start celebrating those small goals along the way, for example, if you're a promoter right now and you do want to climb the ranks and make more money and are really loving the idea of being able to be your own boss, and maybe you do want to retire your husband. I didn't personally even think that was a possibility for me, so I wasn't there, and it probably would have fell to deaf's ear if somebody would have said, like, you're going to retire your husband, you both are going to be home full time. Like, if somebody would tell me that when I first started, I'd be like, dude, I'm just trying to make some extra money so I can not work overtime anymore. Like, that's where I was tired of working 2 jobs and never being home with my family. So I think, like, for where you're at, you have to set your goals. Like, for me, my first goals when I started in this industry were things like, I want to make enough money every month that I don't have to pick up overtime shifts. Okay. So it was like, okay, that was a couple extra $100. So what did I need to do? For me, I could sell wraps. With my last company here, you could sell minis. You can, and then those minis turn into customers. Those customers add to your check, your commissions, and so forth, right? Your free product credit that you're going to get, and so on. So the same thing with the actions, because customers, at the end of the day, guys, it literally, like, we could teach you all the mindset things in the world. We could teach you all the ways to do it. But unless you apply those things and know that, yes, sales are what's going to lead to your check being higher, helping other people come in and promote and doing it. So sometimes you can be missing that middle link. So if you're not signing customers, you're not signing promoters, maybe you say, you know what, I'm going to sign this many customers a month or something. You can put that on your goal. For me, I want to break down, and I just sat here and told you I want to hit 100 pounds. I want to lose 100 pounds. Okay. That's like on my vision board. I want to lose 100 pounds. So guess what? 100 pounds sounds super intimidating, right? But if I say I want to lose 100 pounds, I put that on my vision board. That's my ultimate goal. But then I say I want to lose 8 pounds a month, and I put 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8 in 12 boxes for my vision board. How good does it feel every time I lose 8 pounds that I get to mark that off? How good does that feel? Every time that I achieve working out 3 times during the week, I get to give myself a little gold star, right? So, like, your vision board shouldn't just be throwing something up there, guys, because if you don't put effort into that vision board and creating it the way that you want to get there, you're not going to do it. So for me, I created that vision board 4 years ago, right? I shared that with you because until this past year, did I accomplish any of that stuff? I accomplished a little bit here and there, but truly accomplish multiple things was because I decided to put in the actions. Okay. I decided to put in the actions to get me there and to be able to mark off things along the way. So I put things that I knew that, okay, if I set it on my thing this year, was when I decided to actually, put the work. I started using that vision board that I created this last year to basically be like my plan guide. So you have to start working on each one at a time. So for me, I wanted to build a porch. So we had to call the guy for the guy to come out, measure, to do the porch, right? So what do I need to do for that? You're somebody that you want a back porch, right? Maybe that's something that you want. So then you say, okay, well, I got to call and get an estimate. Making that first call sucks, but you do it. You find out how much you need to make. And then you set your goal that I'm going to make the money through this business to be able to pay the guy to come out for the estimate, right? And they're going to give you a total, and you're going to put that on your vision board. You're going to add that as part of that ultimate goal of building that porch. So now I've called the guy. You put that up on your vision board, a little sticky note, whatever, little pen in it. So how good does that feel that every time you get to mark something off, right? It's not the whole goal, but it's part of the goal. It's a stepping stone to get there. So when you're creating your vision board, I want to encourage you guys to do things where you can break it down by month. You can break it down by, like Tracy Lynn said, maybe you want to run a marathon this next year. So you go and you find a marathon that's going on in this next year, and you put it on your vision board, and then you put what you want to do. Like maybe you're starting from 0 and you want to do couch to 5K or something, right? You want to start putting those actions in. So you add those little baby things onto that vision board too. Okay.
When I said before, like, don't worry about the how, that doesn't mean don't have a plan.
Right. Right.
What it means is that, yes, you have to have a plan. And I really encourage people, you had a big goal, you want to hire somebody who knows what they're doing. You want to hire a coach, or you want to, whatever it is, I hired a business coach for, to build my online business, right? Like people will hire coaches for weight loss. They'll hire coaches for other things, or get into a community of people that are, supporting you or whatever. Like, it's good to have plans and strategies. What you don't want to do is become so attached to how something has to be done that you're not open to all the other possibilities that are out there. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you have to learn how to have this, sort of like loose grab on, yes, this is what I want, and this is how I think it's going to happen. But don't be afraid for other magical ways for things to come out. Because I find that happens more and more the more that you do this kind of work. The deck analogy is actually really good. I would even take it one step further and say that the first thing that you had to do was identify that you wanted a deck, and then you had to really know what that deck looked like. Because if you didn't have a really clear vision of what you wanted, then when you go to get your estimate, you're not going to get the right one. Right. So the first step is always having that big picture, and then, which is that end goal. And then those little mean goals in between are the ways that we break it down to get there. Right. But we need to have both of those. And vision boards can have, words on them, anything that's going to remind you of what it feels like to have that thing in your life already. If you're not a vision boarder, if you're a writer, you can do this with writing as well. Quite easily. And it's just as impactful if that's what really makes you feel something as a vision board does. Some people like to put together videos and then watch that every day. Whatever it is that makes you feel that way the most, that's the thing that you want to have. The other areas that I break down when I'm doing it. So I have 3 categories. One is experiences. One is growth, and the third is contribution. So for experiences, I have my relationships. So that might be your relationship with an intimate partner, or partners, depending on what your thing is. Friendships, my adventures, and my environment. So environment is a lot often the material stuff, which I think people tend to be one or the other. They don't want to put the material stuff on there. And I'm like, you know what, if you want to have a certain kind of house or a certain kind of car or whatever, put it on your damn board. You earn those things, right? So I think it's an important category to actually, what do I want in those things? Adventures for me would be travel, or, but for you, it could be, something else. But what kind of variety do you want in your life? For growth, it's health and fitness, my intellectual life. So, that's where my personal growth stuff would come in. My skills, which is different than your intellectual life or your personal growth, right? So skills would be like, I really want to get good at Instagram for business this year, and I'm going to take a course on that or whatever. Versus intellectual stuff might be mindset, or I want to learn, more about something specific with, how my brain works, or, how to see things differently or think more positively or whatever it would be. And then the other one in growth is spiritual life, which I think is very, very, very important. And a lot of people don't spend enough time actually creating a vision for what they want there. And then the third category that I break things down into is my contribution. So this would be my career. So, if you could have a career and you can have your Lavelle business, and I think you can, you can focus on both or one or the other. But we want to focus on is how is your career impacting your life, the people around you, and, the greater good. How is your career? If you have the career that you love, then, focusing in on that. If it's this business, then how many people can you help and what do you want it to look like? And if you are not in a career that you love right now, then what does that look like for you, and really gravitating to that? Because guys, we spend, most of our waking hours working, it's just the way the world is. So like, and if you're a stay-at-home mom or something, and then that's your career, right? Like, so it really doesn't matter, but we spend most of our time doing that. We need this to be something that we love and that we feel is impacting the world in a better place. So that's huge. Then in contribution, I have creative life. I think that's one place that human beings don't spend enough time thinking. I wouldn't consider myself to be a creative person in terms of artistic, but I love to write, and, I love to decorate things or whatever. Like, everybody has something. It's a really important part of human expression to be creative. So, and I find people just don't even think about it. My family life. So separate from my relationships necessarily with my family, but what do I want my family life to look like? Really actually digging into what that means. And then the community, who are the people that I want to be surrounded with. So those are the 12 areas that I personally break it down in. There's lots of different systems out there that, we'll do them like, say, maybe 4, so like health, fitness, or whatever career. But I like to break them down in those areas. And then I will also rate them on a 0 to 10 of like, where do I feel right now in that area? Like, where do I feel in my body? And, and again, I do this quarterly. And I'll be like, okay, you know what, for the next few months, I'm going to really focus on the areas where I feel the lowest in, or where I feel they're going to have the most impact. So I'm a firm believer that you can have everything, but you can't have everything all at once. And that's just because of my experience as a single mom owning my own business. When I let go of the fact that I had to have all 12 areas of my life at a 10 out of 10 immediately, my life got a lot better. So I will pick things to focus on, and I'll do a new vision board or a new, writing down of what's my vision for the next, and I always do it 3 years out, but I do it every 3 months, and it changes all the time, and it gets bigger, and my focus will shift. But what I find is that, I'm always ticking things off on that board, and then it's changing and evolving. And as you grow and change and evolve, so will your vision.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you broke it down, because there are people that really need it broke down, more. And I suck at that.
I think like what you were saying, that sometimes you'll have something that you were dreaming about like years ago, and you haven't, like, the thing is that we actually don't spend a lot of time planning what we want our lives to look like, and really digging into the areas of our lives that actually matter, and then writing down what we really want. And
and certainly not exploring that.
No.
And I think that's where a lot of people just have to start. Like, you've never created a vision board, or you've created vision boards, but you've never actually checked anything off those vision boards. I highly suggest going to good old Google, going to Pinterest, and checking out and looking up vision boards, and, just ideas for vision boards, different things like that, because you guys, that's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to make it more personal to you, because by you digging, you're going to find what it is that you're looking for in that process. And then it's going to allow you to open up and dream a little bit. That's partially, Tracy Lynn was talking about Instagram, and it's, ironic because Instagram is what changed my business for me in my first business. That is what opened me up to other countries, opened me up to other states. That's where my business started expanding. And I have a deep appreciation for Instagram. And I'll be honest with you, I am right there with you, girl, because I have lost my flippin' way there. And that is on my vision board as well, to be honest. I am in the search and guys, I'm going to be completely transparent with you and tell you I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars literally over the years for courses that did nothing for me. So I am very specific because if I am listening to somebody and I tune them out in a matter of a couple minutes, I got to turn directions and go somewhere else. Yeah. I need something that I can learn from. And so I'm personally looking for a mentor group thing that I can learn from this next year. That's something that I know that I need to achieve as well, because Instagram can train your business, because it is where the younger generation is. Okay. So it is a very critical component to this industry, is that you evolve with where people are. There's going to be other websites that come out in the years to come, and I'll get off track. So it's a whole different topic for a whole different night. But my point in that is that you 100% have to explore those different avenues, with growth and skill, and really just researching into what things are, if they sound unfamiliar to you when you're, on these Zooms and you're like, wait, what is that? I don't know what that is. Also rely on your own instinct and go off and learn a little bit more about it. And that's personal development, guys. I had to Google all this stuff. Like I had to Google network marketing, vision boards, pyramid schemes. I had to Google all this stuff because, people said it and people asked and people accused. So I was like, I don't want to sound like a dummy. So I'm going to go research this. Like, what is that?
Well, you know what? We live in a time and age, and this is the truth. Like honestly, guys, when you're doing this vision board, like you can, I mean it. I have sat down and I have worked with like 700 or 800 patients now. And I've heard every story under the sun. Like you can have what you want. And we live in an age and time when you can literally Google exactly how to get what you want. Like there is absolutely zero excuses for not going for it. And when you find that you're getting the blocks and that sort of thing, that's when you go figure it out. That's where the personal growth comes in. That's where you go read a book or you get a coach. There is nothing new under the sun at this point. Like you can have what you want. And I also am a firm believer that you deserve it, that, you wouldn't have been given these desires and these skills that you have if you weren't worthy of it. And I'm absolutely critical that I think that that's the piece that people are missing, is that they have a desire or dream and then they don't think they're worthy of it. And that is absolute bullshit. You won the day you were born, especially in this country with these opportunities. If you are on this Zoom and you have a computer in front of you and you have the internet, you can have what you want, and then you can impact other people. And you can give them what they want too. So, this, like that, if you get nothing out of this, it's that you are worthy of your dreams. Make sure your dreams are worthy of you, and you need to know what they are, and you need to spend the time exploring them. For those of you that stayed on, I have one little tip after your vision board that I want to give you, and then I'll quit. Once you're done your board, or you've written it out, or whatever it is that you've done, and you can really feel like, yes, this is where I want to go. These are the goals that I'm heading for. I highly encourage you to keep on your phone or in your wallet a little piece of paper where you start to write down your evidence list. If you want to experiment, then just for the next 24 hours, like tell yourself, okay, silver Jeep Wranglers or whatever it is, right? With a car or something like that. And then write down every time you see one. You will see them all over the place. Write down evidence that you see that, the universe or God or whatever it is, quantum physics that you believe in, is heading you towards your goals. Write down the evidence, because you will start to see it. And this will start to reinforce your belief that this is possible, and that you can do it. It's all around you, but we don't pay attention. So the evidence list was something that a coach that I had asked me to do. And I'll be totally honest, the first time I didn't do it, but when I started to do it, it was amazing that I could write down these little signs. You know, for me, dragonflies are a sign, and I would see them in the most random places, like in the middle of the winter or whatever it was. Like just, or, you know, money would come my way unexpectedly, or someone would say something that just really hit home. And I was like, you know, all these little pieces of evidence that the universe is conspiring to bring you what you want, because you are worthy of it. Yeah, so what I was saying was that there's a 1 in 400 trillion, I think, chance that you were born to the parents that you have in the time that you have. When we take all of the science and the disasters and the amount of people that have been on the planet. So the fact that you are here, this unique combination of who you are, it's literally, you have a 1 in 400 trillion chance that you're here. So you won the day you were born. You just, as a human being on this planet in this time, you know, you are already enough. And so whatever dreams that you are being given, you've got to write them down. You've got to get them clear, and then you have to go for them. I firmly believe that if we are going to shift where humanity is going, and you know, and actually come together and start, you know, start creating this like new version where everybody can have a place and a space, where we're not pillaging the planet, but we're actually living in harmony. Then people need to know what they want. They need to know that they're enough, and they need to go after it. So I hope you guys do the work.
Man, that is like one heck of a way to end this Zoom today. Like, yeah. That is one incredible way to end this Zoom tonight, honestly. Tracy Lynn, thank you so much. I definitely know that there are many people that would benefit from exactly what is transpiring, you know, with these, like a vision, you know, just us staying focused on that, on where we want to go and what we want to accomplish, and helping guide everybody else in that same direction, and all of us getting to do it all together. How amazing is that, guys? How amazing is that to see your friends winning all around you? So anyways, with that said, Tracy Lynn, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. And yes, please put that list out, because I am in the process of recreating my 2019 board. And I have a lot that I'm adding to it. And I need to break mine down a little bit more, I think, too. So I think everybody could benefit from that list, and also just a way that you could think about it totally different, you know, and reflecting. So everybody have a good night. I will get the recording up. It takes a little while for it to convert from the Zoom and then upload it to YouTube. So it might not be up till morning, but I hope everybody has a good night, and thank you for hopping on and being here with us tonight. Hi guys. Thanks again, Tracy Lynn.